The other one's
That's fine.
the other one's recorded.
We'll figure it out. Yep. Perfect. All right. Do we have Melinda in here now?
She is hopping on. She just pinged me. She was on another
Gotcha.
call.
This is your Damariscotta gal, right? Teacher, Andrea.
Yep. There you go. In the waiting room.
Oh, thank you.
Hello, Melinda. Are you there? Maybe still connecting.
Yeah, still connecting audio. There she
That
is.
leaves another phone number that's on there as well.
Yeah, it's a 202 number.
Yeah, this is Alex Camarda in New York.
So we have Alex Camarda. Are you the 207-253 number or are you 202?
I'm 202.
And then 202-494-0611. Can we get your name too?
Yeah, that's me. I'm Alex.
That was in
I'm confused.
New York.
Alex is a 202 and Paul is 207.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah.
better sense.
And this is Melinda. I'm 207-939-3314.
Actually, it says Melinda's iPhone.
Gotcha. We've
Oh,
got
that's
you
me.
on here as
Okay.
Melinda's iPhone. Well,
right,
Melinda,
thanks,
we're here
guys.
for the open conference call. So take it away,
Yeah.
whatever questions you may have.
Oh, well, I don't know. I think we've had a couple questions that came up prior to, but we kind of got responses, I think more informally. So I don't, unless unless anybody else, I don't know, Alex, if you had any other questions, but I feel like we pretty much have the lay of the land of like what the expectations are for the RFP. And I think we were just kind of listening in too to see if there were any additional questions that may have come up. But Evan has been, you've been great about like helping, provide responses to some of the questions that I've already had. So
Perfect.
yeah, so I think we're in pretty good shape.
Okay, then. Well, if you've got any other questions to go with now, then unless not, then we're all set.
Okay. I guess, is there any discussion around changing the due date or like, moving it out at all? Or is it pretty much set for the 20th?
The 20th is pretty well set.
Okay. Okay. I mean, are there any other things or other questions that anybody out that others have provided, or are you going to be posting aside from some of the questions that I've already posed that that were that maybe were different, or that you guys will share, or will you post those responses?
No other questions on the RFI piece that I can think of. Anybody in the committee?
Evan, I wonder if the question that just came in today about the level of detail of the engineering, if that would be, if there's an ability to just kind of provide a sentence or two around that, because that would probably be helpful.
Yep, I think that's appropriate. We did have a question as to the level of engineering specified, I believe, under, double checking, page 4 of the RFI. Let me double check. Under 3.3 project timeline, complete an engineering of the system with associated costs by 2 weeks after committee selection. And we posited that the full engineering detail would basically be what it's going to cost to reach all the unserved areas that aren't currently there. So we're not looking at a very deep, detailed engineering plan. So that's some clarification on the level of engineering we're looking
Right.
for in. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just think we agreed that the level of engineering would be sufficient if it would provide the basis for grant, Connect Main grant. Is that correct?
Yep. That's a better way of putting
That's
it.
how
I
we
agree.
worded it.
Thanks, Stephen. So a sufficient engineering design for grant applications.
And we understand that there'd be some deviation from that in terms of a final work product.
Yep. And I'm going to post those other 3 questions that I think you gave us 3 originally, Melinda, and then a couple others since then. So I'm going to be posting those, and then I'll also put in a written version of the engineering and what I just discussed and what subsection it was under on the RFI.
That'd be great. Also, like with respect to the RFI, I know it's just kind of like the first step before and it's going to help inform how you draft the RFP. Is that right? Is that kind of the next step after the RFI, or just curious on timing for that as well? If you guys had, I mean,
We were anticipating the grant window opening up by then, and then we will hopefully have a provider chosen before the grant applications open up. Can anybody else speak to any different timeline? So I think once we get the RFIs back, we're planning on scoring them and giving a recommendation to choose a provider at that point to go ahead and work with for grant applications and those purposes.
So just to clarify,
Sorry.
you're doing an award off the RFI then, not issuing a subsequent RFP.
Correct.
okay, that's helpful. Thanks. And then I don't think Connect Main, I know they've got a meeting on Wednesday. I know they pushed back that the application window for infrastructure grants. Was that going to be opened? I wonder if they're going to name or outline that on Wednesday. Do you guys have any more clarity on that?
No, we're waiting for Wednesday as well to see if they
Okay.
have a window established by then.
Yeah.
But
okay.
I think we can expect that they may or may not. I'm not too positive that they're going to yet. So
I will say that Friday, Peggy, explained that they were really hoping to have the answer from NTIA, from the state's NTIA grant, before announcing the window for Connect Main, but that's no longer looking like it's likely. They'd been kind of holding off, thinking that there was a possibility of hearing the results of the NTIA application, but so I think that they feel the pressure now to announce the window as soon as possible.
And I guess one more question. This is Melinda again. With respect to like utilizing Connect Main funds rather than the new Connectivity Authority, is that just more of a timing issue, just to try and get funding secured and kind of get it up and running, rather than waiting for the Connectivity Authority to get established and start accepting applications?
yeah, I think you're correct there. We'll throw a dart at any board that's in front of us. So
Got it.
once they've got a target, we'll see if that is something that we can go ahead and look at as well.
And if
Well,
this is
I would
type of-
add, and our
Oh.
community has told us they want it sooner than later. So
Right.
we're going for what fundings are available now.
Yep. No, that makes sense. would you consider running potentially a parallel track? Like and I don't know how quickly the connectivity authority would come up, but like if that became available as well, and you already had an application submitted with Connect Main, or would you just kind of like wait and see how Connect Main plays out and then pursue a different, connectivity authority potentially as a secondary option?
I would take the connectivity authority as a secondary option. Just as far as the timing goes, people, like David said, we're interested in moving as fast as possible and then seeing what happens with the Connect Main awards.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And we're dealing with a government authority, so probably not holding our breath for that authority to be where we need it to be is probably not prudent.
I had a question on the formatting of the RFI response. So 5.5 asks for a proposed financial model and makes reference to 5.4, presumably the financial plan in 5.4. And I'm just wondering if you can distinguish between those two. It seemed to me the financial plan, kind of if a respondent was descriptive in the financial plan, it might negate the need to actually respond to 5.5.
All right, I'm looking at 5.5 and 5.4. Could you just reiterate your question?
Sure. So in 5.5, it asks for the proposed financial model of the project that's being put forth, and it references section 4, which I think is 5.4. But 5.4 itself asks for a financial plan. So I was trying to gauge what is being sought in 5.5 beyond what's provided in 5.4 in terms of the financial plan.
I think you can assume 5.4 covers it. And I'm just rereading 5.5. Please comment on the proposed financial model in section 4 above, including availability and willingness after the completion date for community presentations. If there are any variations, I think we just want to know if you can present the numbers of what the costs are going to look like and the availability to present those if possible.
Okay, so no further details on the costing, just about, whether we're able to present to localities regarding our project.
And if you can identify and explain any variations or exceptions that may occur in that financial model, in the design, in the financial plan.
Okay, great, thanks, that's helpful.
That would come up. Any other questions you guys would like to go over with us?
I think we're good from Spectrum's perspective. Thank you guys for answering what we've put forward today. That's great. And before, as I mentioned.
Perfect. We'll have the answers to your questions and others. Like I said, I'll have those posted. I'll shoot you an email if you'd like to include your colleagues' emails as well. Forward those. That would be fantastic.
Thank you
Okay,
for
yeah.
Spectrum's interest. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very
All right,
much.
Take care.
all right, bye-bye.
Bye.